In 1977, Glamorgan made their only appearance in a one-day final at Lord's, and the opposition was Middlesex. Mike Brearley, captain of Middlesex. The overseas player there was Wayne Daniel, and Glamorgan had in their list, led by Alan Jones, Collis King, the West Indian all-rounder. So let's join that match now with the first ball as Wayne Daniel bowls to Alan Jones.
On the outside edge and a low down to slip to start with. Bradley the very first ball of this Gillette final, finding the outside edge. That's the way he fell the last time he appeared at Lord's in a big match. And low to Clive Bradley's left. And that's hooked away. Very determined, good shot there by Alan Jones. And that's bringing a roar of delight to the whole flock of Glamorgan supporters who've travelled up here today. And he's fairly cracked that off the front, but glorious shot to Alan Jones, banged it through the covers for four. And the crowd alight. This time is out. He dropped the left leg, not outside the off-stump then, but a rather fancy round about the middle. Didn't push it quite so far down, and Selby makes the breakthrough. See the difference in the appeals between the last one and this one. Foot this time not going very far down the pitch, and not a stump there inside. So Tom Spencer upholds the appeal. Alan Jones is LBW to Selby for 18, and the total on 21 for 1. That's a fine wristy shot, square on the offside. Lovely piece of time in there by John Hopkins. Brings him his first boundary.
Down into the Welsh area. Good ball to Collis King. That's a better over for Glamorgan. 7 runs from it, and Gatting now 4 overs, 1 maiden, no wicket for 10. In the air, and Barlow's got him. What a good catch that was. The bearded Barlow has picked up the vital wicket of Collis King, and Selby has taken his second wicket. Collis King caught Barlow, bowled Selby 8, and it's 47 for 2.
Well, the decision to keep Mike Selby on into his 9th over has paid off for the Middlesex team. I think Collis King there getting very frustrated, not quite to the ball. And it just goes very low. A nice diving catch there by Barlow, takes it very well. He's still holding on as he tumbles over.
Smith prepares one. Rodney Ontong, the third man out, caught off Gatting, caught by Gould, and it's 50 for 3. Now that is tragedy for Glamorgan, losing 2 wickets in just 2 overs, and suddenly Mike Brearley's decision is looking very good. Ontong without scoring, the thick outside edge, with the man close in ducking for cover, no doubt about that one. Safe. Hit that well, actually. Didn't quite place it as he would have wanted because it went perilously close to Wayne Daniel. The timing was okay. Good shot. Oh, that's a brave reply to starting the over at 50 for 3. That's an even better shot. That landed just 5 or 6 yards inside the boundary. Beautifully struck. Marvellous clean hit by Mike Llewellyn. And I'm not too sure that an uncapped player would be allowed to come out and do that off his own bat. I think the instructions may have come from the dressing room, and if they have, it's a really brave answer from Alan Jones.
Well, that's placed nicely, skillfully wide of Marlowe. His speed will enable him to stop it before it reaches the ropes. And Hopkins gets 2 more. Well, that's a bad ball, a short one, a lovely forcing shot, square on the offside by Llewellyn for another boundary. Into that nicely again. Let's go through for 4. A legitimate half volley there by Daniel, and John Hopkins making the most of it. A good, sound, sensible innings this has been. So he moves on to 37 now, the total of 94 for 3. In the 27th over.
And the 100 comes up. Llewellyn goes to 20, or stays on 25, 40 to John Hopkins, 100 for 3 after 31 overs. And Glamorgan and the Daffodils are moving along very, very nicely here at Lord's.
Edmonds to begin his 8th over. And he's bowling. Over pitch ball, the breakthrough made immediately after lunch here by Philip Edmonds. Takes the very valued wicket of John Hopkins, who's been in there since the start. Played really well, sound, solid innings. Good performance by this young player. Made 47 out of 115 for 4. Trying some variations of pace, gave that a lot of air, but well and equal to the task. And clips him away for 2 more. And that's a wicket for him. Edmonds getting rid of Richards. Not the sort of shot that he'd really want to be associated with for too long. Really no need at this stage for him to throw his wicket away, but he's done it gallantly. A great big wahoo we can see from the camera at the other end of the ground. And that's the sort of wicket that very often falls to slow bowlers in this one-day cricket.
Beautifully cut away by Ivy and Jones. Take him on to 10. Total up to 147 for 5. And that's the Glamorgan card with Alan Jones, the first man out this morning. Glamorgan having been put into bat by Middlesex. He was out for 18, Hopkins for 47, King 8, Ontong no score, and Richards 3. Llewellyn 49, and he's facing Featherstone. Way down at deep make that good point as Wayne Daniel. With a very strong throwing arm, and that is the 50 up for Mike Llewellyn. An excellent hand. That is half century in 110 minutes. 1 6 and 3 4s. The 6 and 2 of those 4s coming in 1 over from Gatting. It's a beautiful shot by Llewellyn. Gave himself a little bit of room. He's a very powerful striker with the ball, and he's played a most valuable innings here today. Footwork there was very good indeed. That's a massive hit. It really has given that some clobber way into the pavilion. A terrific blow off the last ball of John Emery's 12th over. No wonder the Glamorgan boys are delighted. That was a great hit. It's way up in the pavilion, and he's still trying to retrieve it. He really did hit that right off the middle.
Glamorgan have really got the message now. They're just getting some momentum into their batting, and you can see Michael Llewellyn's really just started to take these spinners apart. I feel in my own mind that it's perhaps come just about 5 overs too late, and I thought Michael Llewellyn was the man to do it about 5 overs earlier.
It's in the air, and there's a man under it. And Llewellyn has gone. It's a fine innings. Out for 62. And that's how he was dismissed. Having batted so well in this Gillette Cup final. Gatting just came round, only had a few yards to run. Got himself nicely settled. Fought it well. So now there are 3 bowlers who've finished their 12-over stints, and Daniel is to come in for his 9th over, and he's bowling to Malcolm Nash. Well fielded by Barlow. That was always going to be a struggle for Ivy and Jones. That's a magnificent piece of anticipation by Graham Barlow. He came in there so fast. Ivy and Jones was moving as the ball rebounded from the pad. He was looking for the single to get the strike, and Barlow beat him to it. It was a lovely piece of fielding. 163 for 7, and I don't think Glamorgan supporters will be too pleased about that. 2 wickets down just in a very short space of time, and that 200 now looks a little bit far away. Bad effort from Gould. In these limited over games, wicketkeeper's important in any match, but in these limited over games he has to cover a vast area of ground, which is around about the first slip or second slip area. Wasn't all that far away from that. Malcolm Nash is on 1. And Cord looking for 2. He'll have to be quick here. Throw just far enough away from the stumps to make the difference. .56 overs gone. Malcolm Nash. So Gatting is the man coming in, getting himself under it, nicely positioned, and he's got a very good pair of hands. His second catch almost in the identical position where he took the first one to dismiss Llewellyn. Featherstone takes his second wicket. Malcolm Nash is out for 3. Caught Gatting, bowled Featherstone, and it's 171 for 8. So Middlesex really taking a grip on this Gillette Cup final. Tom Cartwright. 6 men on the boundary for Featherstone. got it away in one of the untenanted areas. Mike Smith having to come around from third man to a very fine third man. Stumped, and a third wicket for Norman Featherstone. The last ball of the Glamorgan innings. All out for 177 after their 60 overs. Only 9 wickets fell.
Glamorgan were 110 for 3 at lunch off just 37 overs, with Hopkins and Llewellyn going pretty strongly. So in the end, they didn't make as many, I think, as they should have done, or indeed as they would have hoped for. But good Middlesex bowling, especially by Mike Selvey and by the 3 Middlesex spinners. So Glamorgan wanted a good start, and my word, did they get it in the field. We pick up the story again, straight away. Malcolm Nash bowling to the opposing captain, Mike Brearley. It's the first ball of the innings.
And there he's gone up, first ball, and he's got it. And Nash has broken through. What a dangerous man he can be with a new ball. Brearley goes caught behind the very, very first ball of this Middlesex reply. So Malcolm Nash, who's been on the receiving end over his career, striking a really marvellous blow there for his county. And the value here of the ability to swing the new ball, bringing it back down the hill, and a good catch there by Ifian Jones. So they'll be roaring in the valleys now as Malcolm Nash gets them away to such a great start. It's a new over from Malcolm Nash to Clive Bradley. And that's it, and he's dropped it. What a disaster. And look at Malcolm Nash, a very simple catch. And straight into Collis King at second slip. Well, if he could only have hung on to that, Glamorgan would have been in here with a real chance. Would have meant Middlesex were 4 for 2. Well outside off stump, I think. It was quite justified in Constant turning it down. Nash again to Radley. It's cut away quite nicely through the gully. Collis King is after it, but it's going to beat them all. It goes through for the first boundary. So is Radley going to cash in after being dropped at second slip when he'd made only 2? Moves into double figures now. He scores on 12 as Middlesex move on to 16 for 1.
He certainly could have much better figures than the one for 17 that stands at the moment. Mike Smith it was there. Just playing as though just got the outside edge, half volley through to Ifian Jones. Caudle. Mike Smith's the batsman, and that is a slashing stroke. It's just about Mike Smith's favourite shot away through that point area, the square drive. Well, that's an even better shot. Seized on that very quickly, and Glamorgan can't afford any lapses in line and length here. Oh, that must be close. Yes, indeed, that's well bowled by Tom Cartwright. A lovely in cutter, beating Smith, and it wouldn't surprise me if that hit the back leg. It looked as though it came back just inside the inside edge. You can see again now how the second Middlesex wicket went down. Front leg, but it looked decidedly plumb. Bradley's made 22, and he has strike to Tom Cartwright. Great shot. Got himself nicely into position for that. Really sharp. That one. Reflex action needed there if you're to catch those. It's just a matter of luck. nearly fatal to bowl anything short to sort of Gatting. He punches them off the back foot through the covers, and anything short round about leg stump really does latch onto it very quickly. He's been past quarter like a rocket. He's feeling just behind square leg. He's caught him. Now that's the lovely break that Glamorgan wanted so badly. John Hopkins out at point, straight to him, and he caught it well. And there's Glamorgan supporters absolutely delighted. And here's how it happened. Square drive from Hopkins, very safe pair of hands. Normally fields in the gully, but he held that beautifully. 72 for 3, 31 to Clive Radley. It's a good shot. Don't know that's quite the place to bowl at Radley. He's very strong around that area. Certainly difficult to bowl at him with no man back on the boundary.
Barlow blossomed forth as a great England prospect last year. Made the tour to India and on to Australia. And has had a fairly unhappy time during the course of this season. And again, that ball pitching outside leg stump. That's the reason umpire Spencer would have nothing to do with it. Slashed away by Barlow. Just about reaching the ropes. Tom Cartwright to bowl from the pavilion end to Clive Radley. Again on the leg stump and whipped away very nicely by Radley. Immensely strong on the leg side. Confident appeal, but I'm again quite sure it was turned down for the same reason. Smacked away quite handsomely through the offside by Radley. It should take him very comfortably under 48. It's a good shot. As soon as he's pitched anywhere around Barlow's legs, he's really cashed in on it. And 3 runs there, driven wide of mid-on by Barlow, bring up the 100 for Middlesex. And things always look rosier for a side chasing runs once they get up to 3 figures. They can see the target ahead of them now. They want another 78 runs, 7 wickets in hand, and still 31 overs to get them. Every chance he'll make 50 out of it too. It's like a hair between the wickets. No problem at all in getting the 2 runs he wants for his 50. So Radley, not for the first time this year, holding this Middlesex batting together. Made an excellent 50 out of 104 for 3. He came in the very first over when Brearley was out for 0.
A good shot. He's very strong around that area. You just can't bowl round about leg stump to Clive Radley and get away with it. Got to be drawing him away outside the off stump. Oh, it's got to be close. Yes, indeed. Well bowled. Deserved that wicket. And Gwyn Richards, the one that comes on with the arm, going down the hill and beat Barlow in his little defensive push. So Barlow is out. LBW to Richards. That's how it happened when he'd made 27. The ball spearing in at him from outside off stump, and although we're a little bit obscured from this end, there's no doubt that that's got to be a plum. And umpire Spencer's finger already on the way out. Bowling played on. Well, they're leaving it late, these Glamorgan bowlers, but They're still in with the slightest chance. Featherstone playing on to Malcolm Nash. The Daffodil is up again. Featherstone out for 3. A little bit of in-swing from Malcolm Nash, same as the first delivery. Full toss it was, played from inside edge back onto leg stump. And it's 153 for 5.
Malcolm Nash already taken 2 wickets in his 10 overs and could easily have had a couple more. 2 chances missed off him. But the man who's been in command out there is Radley. He's on 79 and held this Middlesex side together. And that's a lovely shot through extra cover. And fairly scampering away for the 3rd run. Well, somebody thinks they're going to be back next year, and so that's the right way to look at it. The Daffodil high there. So. That's whipped away in the air. Is it going to go through for 4? Is it going to be the winning hit? No, it's just 2 runs, and it's off a no ball. So still 2 wanted. Caudle to Edmonds. And that should be it. He's taken the first one quickly. He's turning for the second. The mission is successfully accomplished by Middlesex. They win the Gillette Cup by the margin of 5 wickets as the crowd stream onto the ground. And the man who's made it all possible for them there is Clive Radley. Undefeated with 85, a super knot this, bearing in